Dear all, welcome back to VJ Tech Talks. In today's video, we will create a robust data solution using Microsoft Fabric. I have logged into my Microsoft Fabric for better understanding of today's concept. I strongly recommend watching my previous basic videos on Fabric, which are available on our channel under the Fabric playlist. Click on the playlist under the playlist section. We have a Microsoft Fabric playlist. A quick review before we start today's topic. We'll begin with an introduction to Fabric Workspace, followed by the setup process, how to enable the 60-day trial, an overview of Microsoft Fabric Workspace, a comparison of ELT versus ETL, and an introduction to the Medallion architecture. We've also reviewed the data sources for this project, including Excel and SQL. Let's jump into today's topic. Let's think of we have a scenario. We have been asked by a client to design and implement a data pipeline using Microsoft Fabric. The goal is to build a Medallion architecture that will take data from various sources like Excel files and a SQL Server databases and feed into a Fabric through the Fabric Power BI reports that refreshes daily. We also need to implement the error alerts and make sure the data refresh process is faster, reliable, and efficient. Let's break this down. If you look at the scenario, the client is already using the Power Query. We've ingested data from Excel sheets, but now they also want to bring data from the AdventureWorks SQL Server. And here is the catch. They need to keep the same structure of the data for sales reports. They are already using the solution. What we are building here is an end-to-end pipeline that can handle data from multiple sources and update the data model daily. This basically which involves the different stages. Different phases of this process are followed by data ingestion, data processing, implementing the business logic to clean and integrate the data using the Medallion architecture. Let's walk through the steps. Before we begin, let's quickly review our design. Here we go. So basically, based on this scenario, if you look at this scenario, here's what they are asking. As I mentioned, they have two sources. One is Excel sheet. The other one is the SQL database, right? Both sources. What we do here is ingest the data into our bronze layer. We can say raw layer or landing layer. We will load it here. We are storing this in the data lakehouse. On top of this, we are building the data warehouse, which consists of the silver layer and the gold layer. The silver layer, before we ingest the data into the silver layer, what we do here is perform data cleansing operations before writing the data into the silver layer. At this point, we have clean data that can be processed and aggregated for the next layer, which is the gold layer. We will build a semantic model, and based on this model, basically the semantic model, what we can say is that it defines the table structures and outlines the tables we need. We will also define how to build relationships among them. That's what we refer to as the semantic model. It's as simple as that to understand what the semantic model is. Okay, so we will build a semantic model. With the help of the semantic model, we will create a Power BI report using the semantic model. Let's return to our Microsoft Fabric workspace. This is what it typically looks like, as I mentioned. If you're unsure how to set up the Fabric workspace and enable the trial period, along with all the related steps, we have already created videos on this and you can quickly review them on my channel. If you have any doubts, feel free to leave a comment. I won't take much time to introduce Fabric or discuss what it is and the benefits we gain from it, as we have already recorded videos covering these topics. If you have any doubts, please feel free to refer to our previous videos. You will get an idea of today's agenda. To build the Medallion architecture, we have templates here. I will use one of these templates. This is what the Medallion architecture template typically looks like. This is what it looks like. Let's assume we are building on top of AdventureWorks. I chose the Medallion architecture template, right? First one is a high volume. Low volume sources. If you want to add more sources, you can add here. For now, for building a Medallion architecture, you can bring the data to a bronze. Then you can perform some initial cleansing here before processing the silver layer. Then you can perform further transformations here, such as aggregate transformations. Then you can load data into the gold layer, and then you can build on top of the gold layer. You can build the Power BI report, right? So in this case, I'm not using any ML, right? Let me delete this one. Okay. So quickly, let me try to add the items here. The bronze layer, right? This we will store it in Lakehouse, and then two are the warehouses. If you remember our architecture, if you look at here, first Lakehouse, then data warehouse. So let me add the items accordingly. I will try to add the items here. This one is the Lakehouse. Just click on here, you can say that bronze layer. So once you have created, typically it will, and later in the upcoming stages, you'll also be able to review all of this. Okay, for now, we don't have anything here yet because we haven't processed any data. So let's go back to my design. By default, after adding an item, the semantic model is part of your each layer. You will see the semantic model here. So make sure this item is tightly coupled with your bronze layer. Moving on to the next silver layer, click on the new item. In this case, as I said, it's a warehouse, right? Just click on warehouse. Just you can say silver D-wedge. It will take a while to create. You'll notice this view is slightly different from the previous one. We have a schemas and securities, stage queries, and many other things are followed by, if you expand this, you'll see the default schema. Let's go back to our design. If you look here at the silver data, there are no items attached to this stage. What you need to do is click on Attach, then select the silver one. This will be there for every stage. Now you can see two items are attached to this. I'll add another item now. Similar to gold layer. It will take a while. But right now, I'm not performing any transformations or cleansing activities. What I'll do is delete all these and directly connect from bronze to silver and from silver to gold. We have a semantic model in our design. As I mentioned, we have explicitly created the external semantic model. We have created a semantic model on top of the gold layer. There are two things here. We can utilize this gold semantic model for building a Power BI report. But what happens if I use that? Whatever tables we have under the semantic model, this will directly propagate to your Power BI report, which is not required. So we can plan for another semantic model which we required for the Power BI report. Let me quickly click here, then select Prepared Data and place this between the gold layer and the Power BI report. What I'll do here is create a new semantic model. I will try to add a new semantic model. To attach item, we need a semantic model. There is no new semantic model available. As mentioned, based on the aggregated layer, we need to build a new semantic model for the Power BI report. So let me quickly go to the goal layer. So here what we can do is click on reporting. Here is the option, but it's a grayed out. The reason behind that, why it is grayed out, if you look at here, we don't have any tables or any schema which we created. Everything is empty here. If you look at nothing is there. See under the debo schema, so we have to create a new table under this one. You can create your own table for now. I'm creating the sample table here. Let's say EMP and EMP ID, EMP name, EMP PH number. So good to go, just execute. The statement is successfully executed, right? Why? Now you have a table under the goal layer, at least you must have at least one single table. Then only this tab going to be activated. Earlier it was grayed out. Now it is activated because you have a table. Click on New Semantic Model and name it Power BI Semantic Model. Just select the object from the DBO schema. Based on which schema you're building this semantic model, then click on Confirm. This will take a while. Now let's go back to our design. Just click on New Item. This is the semantic model, right? Just click on Attach. See, there is a Power BI semantic model which we created just now based on the on top of gold layer, right? You can build a data visualization in Power BI. So that's all for today. I hope you learned something from today's video. If you have any doubts, if you're confused by this explanation, or if you're stuck at any stage, so do let me know and ping me in the comments of this video. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you like this content, please subscribe to our channel, share this content with your friends and family, and spread knowledge with others. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.